In the moderates in the white community, feeling that the moderates would understand and that we would have great allies in our struggle from the so-called moderates. But in recent years, I've come to see that these are often the people who stand in the way of progress because they are committed only in a lukewarm manner. And every time you move to try to solve the problem, they will respond by saying, you're moving too fast, you ought to cool off, you should put on brakes. And they end up more devoted to order than to justice, and are more devoted to maintaining a sort of negative peace, which is merely the absence of tension, than gaining a positive peace, which is the presence of justice.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the latest episode of Andre the Man Show. I'm the host, Andre Morton, and Andre the Man Show is exclusively on the ATP Network. You can catch the ATP Network on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. And also, too, you can also follow the ATP Network on Twitter, on the ticker on the bottom of your screen. The handle is at ATP Network 247. I know I haven't posted shit on there. I'll get to it eventually. I'm just doing a lot of work right now. And also to subscribe to my podcast, Real Recognize Real, available on our platforms. And oh yeah, don't forget our comrade Trina Pans needs some help. Right here on the bottom of your screen. GoFundMe. The link is in the description on the live stream. You can catch it there. Read her story. She went through a domestic violence abuse. She's actually trying to escape, start a new life for herself and her kids. So, again, donate to Trina Pans. Any amount helps. Even though I say I'm going to stop. Well, that's just Twitter. But, just help her, man. Any way you can. You ain't got to donate. Just share the link to your friends or family or something. Okay, that was the legendary Martin Luther King. I've been watching left independent media since shit 20, 2017, 2018. That's when I really started watching it. The Young Turks first, and then I started watching Cal Kulinski in 2019. Like, at the time I thought what he said was, way to the left, than now. You know, I like the commentary. The Young Turks too. They had some good talking points. They was behind, all of them was behind Bernie at the time. And then y'all know about Bernie. He abandoned his movement and left us now just to become. I don't like labels, but communists, and you know, and decide to just get rid of the whole system entirely. See, Bernie really wanted to reform shit. Like, we want to change shit. That's the difference between us and Bernie. But back then we were behind Bernie. So, the white moderate in my eyes, I see that this is me. I know what Martin Luther King talking about. He talking about the establishment, but I'm talking about particularly on the quote unquote left. I see that MLK is talking about. From my perspective, I could use the term white moderate in terms of people like Cal Kulinski, the Humanist Report, Mike Figueredo, Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, Crystal Ball, like all those people are white moderates, and they, like for example, Forced to Vote, a movement that everybody on the quote unquote left should have got behind, like no if and or but fucks about it. Everybody should have got behind that movement, but some people didn't like JD and or some of the white moderates, the motherfuckers I'm talking about, those motherfuckers, they say it's not the right time. It's not the right time for that. They're still behind the squad until the squad. They over the squad now because the squad failed them. Well, the squad failed us, or during the beginning of the pandemic when they signed the CARES Act, which was the biggest transfer of wealth to the top 1%. Yeah, when you do that shit like that, and then you call Nancy Pelosi Mama Bear, AOC, okay, stand that bitch. Shit like that. Y'all, the squad they never was serious to begin with. They just, I hate to say this, they use this like with Kamala Harris vibe. They got it on vibe. They got it on like, oh, we'll fight for your Medicare for all. Neither one of the squad members mentions Medicare for all. So yeah, you just the Cenk Uyghurs and the Kyle Kulinski's, let's say we go to them and I say, Kyle, we need to be 100% behind a third party independent candidate. Well, Kyle's an exception because he quote unquote made a video said that he endorsed Jill Stein, which I think is vague because the only reason why he endorsed Jill Stein because what's going on in Gaza, like the way he's been capping for Tim Walz lately, like those policies are actually going, like those policies for Minnesota is gonna go national. Yeah, good luck with that when Kamala Harris had Wall Street donors behind her. Yeah. Oh man, but anyway, yeah, the white moderate I pertain to Cows and the Janks and the Humanist Report too. Humanist Report, the Rational Nationals, the Tyler Cohen, Brian, what was the dude name is? Sam Cedars. Yeah, these are the white moderates. These are the people in my eyes that MLK are talking about. Like they don't want no revolution. Oh yeah, the video about to play, he about to get into that. They just want, let's just get somebody there and that's just progressive. That's just to the left of Kamala, left of Biden. Like that's not enough. We need to go beyond the duopoly. That's why most of us, are post-duopoly. I'm post-duopoly. Some people think voting is an illusion. I think voting is important to a certain extent on the local level, because local politics affects you more than national politics. Like, I would say to anybody that thinks like that, don't necessarily throw voting off just vote on a local level. Like if your state got ballot initiatives to legalize or decriminalize marijuana or something like that, that's good start. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to MLK, man. He had so many bangers. Malcolm X got a lot of bangers too. I'm gonna try to play a Feeney stuff as usual. That's why I start doing play MLK, Malcolm X. I want to do Fred Hampton got any clips. I'll try to find some. I play some other Conrad clips too. Get them some exposure. I wanna before I get to the Kulinski video, I wanna say thank you to everybody. Our last live stream we had, well, the last one before that one, the one when I was talking about AOC slams Jill Stein and the Green Party. We had a decent amount of views on YouTube, so thank you guys for watching. I know y'all tired of looking at my face. Just be patient with us. The CEO has been sick, so she supposed to have a new show that's supposed to come out called Bedtime, but when you sick and you got other obligations, it's hard to to do stuff like that. Like, this is a lot of work. This is not easy. Getting behind a camera and thinking of what to say. You gotta come prepared. Like I'm coming more prepared. You gotta know what to say and all that. And then she got obligations that I don't have. So yeah, man, just be patient with us. We got Damien. He's coming with ideas on the network on a daily basis. So Damien doing his due diligence. And a couple of another guy, he's going through some other stuff. So yeah, man, I bet some of y'all see why y'all see my face all the time. Well, you see Ty Peasant's face on Tea Time. So until she get well and stuff like that, you just gonna see me. Oh man, now I'm gonna get to Kulinski video. That's just okay. Okay, guys. So I shared my screen right here. The title of the video says Bernie the Trump pipeline. That's kind of an interesting, like, I wouldn't say a case study, but interesting phenomenon. I guess what he's insinuating, I'll let him explain it, but I guess what he's insinuating is that people that supported Bernie Sanders, let's say back in 2016, 2020, now support Trump. I watched this in its entirety when it came out last week, but I'm gonna play some parts of it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing out of respect of his, thing. I don't kind of like to do that. And I think YouTube don't like when you play people's whole videos either. So, if you want to watch it yourself, just go to Kulinski channel and on YouTube and pull it up yourself. Here we go.
We had Tulsi Gabbard not only endorse Trump, I mean, she kind of did already in the recent past, but she also, they made a big show of it. They did a rally together, and Tulsi gave a little bit of a speech, and then Trump came out and spoke, and so she endorsed him, and she's, enthusiastically supporting him. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up joining him on the campaign trail. So this happened just the other day, and what you're seeing a lot of now on Twitter, it's comments like this, right? This person's actually being pretty nice about it, but they say, "What a journey." And you can see here, Tulsi Gabbard saying, "Why I'm endorsing Bernie Sanders for president," right? Why I'm endorsing Bernie Sanders for president. And then over here, that was all the way back in 2015, 2016. And then over here, Tulsi Gabbard endorses Trump for president. The claim that's being made by a lot of people.
Well, before he gets to his explanation, this is just a simple explanation for me on why she flip-flop like that. We all know Tulsi Gabbard is opportunist, right? Let's not forget that back in 2020 when the pandemic hit and, people just lost their minds and ran behind Biden, Tulsi Gabbard also endorsed Joe Biden as president. Like, she went for Bernie Sanders, which is, you could say, is to the left of Joe Biden, I guess. I don't know, these labels. to Joe Biden, who's a Republican. Really, we went from one side to another. But Joe Biden and Donald Trump are both on the right. But to be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck Trump is. I think Trump is more. Well, I think Joe Biden is more to the right of Trump. So I don't know. I let y'all discuss that in the comment section. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of interesting phenomenon. My opinion about Tulsi Gabbard is weird, interesting quirk about that. I know that Bernie Sanders was the right choice. Well, I thought he was the right choice at the time back in 2019. But I endorsed Tulsi Gabbard because I thought Tulsi Gabbard, she had the right. I don't know. Maybe she had the right charisma at the time. I don't know. I endorsed Tulsi for like 5 seconds, and I realized I got my shit together. Well, I thought I had my shit together and endorsed Bernie and donated to Bernie. So, but Tulsi Gabbard is an opportunist. Like, Tulsi Gabbard, when she endorsed, I'm pretty sure when she endorsed Bernie, the Democratic Party don't like Bernie. But Bernie, he just a fucking cook and speaks at the convention like. You could tell the audience like they didn't boo him or nothing, but it wasn't like what Obama and Michelle got. Like they don't like Bernie. But Bernie still finds a way to cuck to him. She went from Bernie Sanders, which then fast forward to 2019 when she ran against Bernie, which is a telltale sign. My thing is. You had Elizabeth Warren too. She turned out to become an establishment cuck too, just like Bernie. But if these motherfuckers really like Bernie and thought Bernie, he had the people behind him, they should have got behind Bernie. But they didn't. So then she endorsed Joe Biden, Tulsi Gabbard in 2020. Like I guess because the Democratic Party was really after her ass. And hell, you destroyed talking to Kamala Harris's campaign back in 2020. So you were done then. So hell, why would you endorse Joe Biden? Well, whatever, it don't matter. Then all of a sudden now she endorses Trump, and I think she's going to be on his campaign too, as an advisor. I think she's going to help him with the debate against Kamala Harris. But my thing is, the only problem with that is that Trump gave money to Kamala. It's like see what us on the left been saying. Well, see us on the left been saying, about these politicians, like it's just one, like George Collins says, one big club, you ain't in it. Like, yeah, see, Trump donated money to Kamala, so that means he must agree with her on her being a top cop. See what I'm saying? So I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know. We will see in 7 days. But okay, I'm done talking. Back to the video. It's just interesting. Like,
as they see this happen and they see RFK Jr. endorse Trump, they're saying, look, this proves horseshoe theory is real. So in other words, the far right and the far left kind of meet up on the political spectrum and tend to agree. And this is viewed as not only evidence of the horseshoe theory being real, but some people are going far as to say it's proof. Okay, so let's break this down.
So wait. So because Tulsi Gabbard was never on the far left, so I don't know what in the hell Kulinski'S talking about. Far left. Oh, so wait. That's like, so the whole horseshoe theory to me is hogwash because, excuse me, y'all. Hogwash because if you look at the far right ideology, like they want to kill the left. They think I'm just a woke guy, that think kids should be cats and dogs and elephants and shit. Like that's what I think of the far right. Like they somebody said this before, the far right, I don't like the right, but they got their shit together. Now the far left, I consider me, RBN, right. I think us, Richard Mayhurst, Max Blumenthal, all those people, they're on the more on the far left. Like, we anti-war, we you know, we for Medicare for all, we for all that stuff, right? Or nationalized healthcare. That's beyond Medicare for all. Nationalized, it's different. You know, we beyond the pale when it comes to policy, like changing shit, like forming a revolution. Like, the far left to me was want to change the system completely. You could say the populist right. You know, they like the Tommy Lawrence and what the other dude? I forgot the other dude's name. They quote unquote anti-war, but they still, you know, believe in, you know, the intangibles that the right believes in. So, horseshoe theory to me, my thoughts on it, you gotta have more proof of it, Kyle. You just can't say, well, no, Kyle ain't saying it himself. I ain't gonna do that. I'm thinking, horseshoe theory, to me, needs to be more proven. I don't see what the far right and far left got in common. Well, to be honest with you, building a movement, but I don't know. I just need more proof of that before I can make my interpretation. Like, I need more evidence. I don't want to just say any shit on here. You know, I'm not that type of guy. But let's continue.
Down in a couple different ways, and I'll tell you where I think this phenomenon comes from. So, the high-profile examples of what you'd call the Bernie to Trump pipeline. Tulsi Gabbard is a great example. RFK Jr. is a great example. He endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2016. I don't know if he did in 2020 in the primary, but he did in 2016. He, of course, endorsed.
Well, my opinion about that is RFK Jr. I think I think him and Tulsi are just opportunists. They're just they chase a clout. They clout chasers. That's why they endorse Trump. See, the Democrat Party don't like them anymore. Like, they didn't like when RFK ran against Biden. That's why RFK became independent. And then, you know, and Tulsi, you know, she endorsed Bernie, and then she destroyed Kamala Harris in the debate. So yeah, when you go against the pale, you get your ass burned. So what they doing is they want to rebuild a brand. Like, just clout chasers. Like, you can't take these people seriously. I do think Kyle should know that, but you know, he's about to get to more some crazy wacky shit in a minute. Like, especially this guy that's controversial. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
Trump this time around. Then, of course, you have some high-profile media figures who have effectively gone from Bernie Sanders back in the day to Donald Trump now. People that come to mind: Jimmy Dore, Matt Taibbi. He had a tweet the other day where he said, every time somebody calls me racist, sexist, or, you know, whatever, fill in the blank, I'll donate $1 to Trump. And then you have Russell.
Now, before you get to Russell Brand, now, Matt Taibbi, I'm going to say this. I don't think Matt Taibbi is either on the left nor right. But, you know, because he tweeted that he probably was just joking, Kyle. You know, people joke on Twitter, right? Nobody's serious all the time. Like, but like, how that tweet prove? Like, did Matt Taibbi come out himself and say that, hey, I support Trump 100%, I'm behind Trump's back? No, not as I know of. like, and the other guy he talked about before Matt Taibbi, you know, I don't have no evidence to say that JD supports Trump, or they call him a right winger. I ain't got evidence of that. He has his own opinion. Like, you don't have to agree with JD's opinion, but you know, I think this is kind of a little bit of slander, in my eyes, because JD roasts you. Cause you made a video years ago talking about, you know, him and Jank beef, the TYT beef. I mean, I don't know, man.
Russell Brand, of course, he also sort of took this path. And the first point I want to make in reaction to this is that what the consistent trend you see.
I think Russell Brand, in my opinion, I think he just more like a free thinker. I think he look at both sides. Well, he look at the Democrats and Republicans. And he determines. You know that's what I think of Russell Brand. But if I'm wrong, debate with me in the comment section.
Through all of these people who did this is that these are either politician types, right? So like high profile people who have a name in the public, like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., or like, you can say activist-y too, that's RFK Jr., or they're media figures like Jimmy Dore, Matt Taibbi, Russell Brand, comedians, talk show hosts, investigative or independent reporters or journalists or whatever you want to call them.
I think I see he trying to take a shot at Aaron Monte and Matt Blumenthal too. Like Kyle, he know who these people are. It's just the problem is that he don't want to give no clout because we all supposed to be on the same side, but it's different factions. Mr. Libertarian Socialist. Like, what the fuck is a Libertarian Socialist? Jesus Christ.
Somebody like Matt Taibbi. And this phenomenon is not nearly as common among regular people, among working people, among the voting population. And in fact, there's data to sort of back this up. So, for example, in 2016, only 12% of Bernie supporters who voted for him in the primary ended up voting for Trump in the general election. 12%. Now, you might hear that and say, well, I mean, look, that's 1 out of 10. That's a pretty high number. But you have to compare it to others. So,
yeah, Kyle, like, why would, 10% is a low number. 1 out of 10, that's very low. Why, why would all the Bernie movement, well, I know you ain't saying that. I'm just saying, for example, like, why would, like, I know Trump is the establishment. Why would I go to a quote-unquote populist candidate like Bernie Sanders to a fake populist like Trump? Back then, like, if I voted for Bernie back in 2016, like, that just don't make any sense. I'd rather just vote for Jill Stein at the time. Like, she ran in 2016. Like, it just don't make any sense whatsoever.
So, for example, 28% of Hillary Clinton supporters who were with her in the 2008 primary over Barack Obama, 28% of them ended up voting for McCain in the general election, right? So we're talking more than double.
Well, I can make a case to you that those voters were probably flip-flop voters anyway, swing voters, like maybe, or they just didn't think a black guy would win. Oh yeah, this is 2008. Oh yeah, they didn't think Obama would have won, but so they went where they probably was more on the centrist Republican side. So maybe yeah, that's why I think they just didn't believe in Obama. Oh man, so they voted for McCain, which, to be honest with you, man, at this point, I don't think John McCain and Obama probably had the same politics anyway. Obama didn't do shit for us, so.
And the other point to make is, when it comes to RFK Jr. and when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard in particular, these are people who, they supported Bernie in 2016, but they supported Joe Biden in 2020, right? And, you don't see much of people saying, this is the centrist to right-wing pipeline because these people supported Biden in the most recent election and now they're supporting Trump. So nobody says, like, centrist to right-wing pipeline, but you could probably dig up just as many examples, if not more examples statistically, of people who were more centrist-type liberals who then end up going to the right. So that's the first point, okay, that this is more of an issue among high-profile individuals, media figures, activists, politicians.
So he's trying to say that, the people with influence are the ones that are on the horseshoe theory train. But my thing is that, maybe you right about RFK and Tulsi Gabbard. Obviously, we know they're opportunists, but I don't know about the media pundits. I just, I just can't get with that yet until I see more evidence. I don't see it.
Politicians, it seems to happen more with them than it does among the regular voting population, right? So it's not as much of an ironclad rule. It's not as much of a trend as you would think based off these high-profile examples. Okay, now, having said that, why? Why are these people doing what they're doing? What's with their political transformation? Well, look, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I think there are a number of answers to it. So first of all, I do sense that with a lot of these people, there's this contrarianism to the mainstream, right? They feel like, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be contrarian. If I feel like, mainstream media or popular culture is going in one direction, I'm going to be a sore thumb and I'm going to stick out and I'm going to be contrarian. There's also some semblance of like edginess gets eyeballs, right? There's a sense of if I do this, I'm being edgy.
So you saying that the media pundits are being clout chasers, basically. No, maybe JD and Matt Taibbi of the world, the two examples you picked, maybe they just changed their opinion. Let's just say maybe I think, to be honest, they still anti-war. I could get with that. They still anti-establishment. Like, I'm pretty sure JD knows that Trump is establishment. Like, he said that before. Like, he like, a lot of people think JD, he just go off on Biden and Kamala, but he actually goes off on he went off on the Republicans too. It just, anybody with a brain knows that if you're on the quote left, you'll typically criticize the Democrats because Democrats make fucking empty promises. I believe more of maybe they just, believe in. I think they're being more intellectually stagnant rather than just narrative humping. I got that from him, narrative humping. Okay.
With some of these characters, I think this is undeniable, especially when it comes to people like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, where they basically burn their bridges on the Democratic side. So there's this element of careerism and opportunism.
That's what the fuck I said.
Where they try to stay relevant. If your team turns on you, well, then to stay relevant, you don't have a future on the Democratic side anymore. That's obvious because they despise you. So what do? They do the logical thing from a career and opportunistic perspective.
And also about Tulsi Gabbard too. Tulsi Gabbard will be the next golden child of the Democratic Party. For some of you that probably didn't know, like Tulsi Gabbard was part of the DNC. She was one of the DNC chairs. They were trying to prop her up. They saying she's the next up and coming thing. And then she did that with Bernie Sanders, and yeah, of course they go W. Yeah.
Which is, all right, maybe the other side will welcome me with open arms. If I start being the voice that says, I'm a leftist and Trump is right about everything. And then the other thing, for the media figures in particular, of course, I think a big factor here is, look, they generating clicks. You want to generate clicks. And this is a lane that is...
Yeah, Kyle, you talk about Trump more now on your videos, and I see you get 150,000 views and 200,000 views. You doing the same shit that you be claiming JD doing. Like, cut the cap, Kyle. You clout chasing. You clout chasing, man. That's what you doing. Like, anybody that's talking about Trump on a daily basis, like this other guy, what's his name? Farron Cousins of Ring of Fire. He does the same shit. Every time you look on his YouTube channel, Trump this, Trump that, Trump is over, Trump is done, Trump this, Trump that. Like, yeah, we know Trump. We know who Trump is. Like, I don't need if I'm looking for information, I don't need a daily dose of Trump this or Trump acting like a pitcher. Like, we know this shit. I talked about Trump one time, and yeah, did the video blew up? Yes, I just said Trump melts down at the NABJ, and people, I got ratio for that. People say I'm clout chasing, but I wasn't. But I could talk about Trump and stuff all the time, but I believe if I do that, then people just call me another Cal Kulinski or Farron Cousins. So I want to talk about what's going on in Israel and Gaza. I want to talk about ways to make the world better. And I found that I know the stuff I talk about ain't sexy topics. I don't want it to be sexy. I want it to be educational, man. I know sometimes you gotta have an appeal to some audiences, like the independent media space out there, man. It's loaded to the gills. There's a lot of independent media, man. Like you gotta be one of those type of people. You gotta have the right, you gotta have the right tracks at the right time. Like you need that. Like YouTube do not want to promote you. If you do this space, like you gotta, like JB, he gave us a hand. Like he's the reason why we up to 250 subscribers. Like you gotta have that type of people behind you. And yeah, you gotta have an appeal. Like that's why I wanted other people to do other shows on the ATP network, because I realized that people don't want to see my ugly ass face on here every day. Like, I know that shit could get stale. And I wanted to be like the RBN model, which, you have JB on there, you have Rome on there, you have Nick on there, you have Sabby on there. Like, that's where it should be. And, so yeah, just clout chasing off of, you calling JD a clout chaser. Why? What you doing? Talking about Trump now, getting a lot of views. Yeah. See, we could talk about others, but we don't look at ourselves in the mirror. Like, come on, man.
Clearly very profitable. I think right-wing voters they love the idea of a transition story, right? Not involving trans people, of course, but they love the of a political transition story of like, I was with them, but now I'm with you, and I can tell you all the inner workings of the other side and how evil and bad and wrong and nefarious.
But okay, maybe they got some people that was on the right to start watching their content. But to me, ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you keep your eye on the prize and say you anti-war and you anti-establishment, what's the problem with that? Maybe you change them. JD says he be at his comedy shows. He said that right wingers be there. They said, Jimmy, I don't agree with you, but I understand where you're coming from. Like, that's what we're supposed to do, right? When you talking to people, everybody ain't gonna be on the fucking left and have comment flags in their bios on their social media accounts, and you got this term radicalizing. You gotta radicalize people, Kyle. I'm pretty sure you don't know that. Like you in your echo chamber.
They are, because I was in the belly of the beast. We saw this with Dave Rubin, for example. I think that's a big part of it. I think just generating clicks, and then also connected to that is eventually.
I think Dave Rubin is a bad example. Dave Rubin was just like Tosi and RK. They knew, being on the right independent media. Yes, they exist too. They have way more money, and I think Dave Rubin is just opportunity itself. So yeah, that's a bad example.
Audience capture, right? Eventually, audience capture. I remember a while ago, there was a video where Jimmy Dore.
This is what I have a problem with too, right here. He keep talking about audience capture. You could be Jimmy is an aggressive guy. Like, he's still aggressive. Like, so what? Jimmy has to say he supports 10 walks like you for you to take him better. Like, what? Jimmy can't have his own mind. Like, I disagree with Jimmy on a lot of stuff, but I still cool with the guy. Yeah, I said his name, Jimmy. Like, a lot of people don't like Jimmy though. That's them. Everybody got their own reasoning. What he did with the Cornel West interview, I think that was a little bit wrong in my opinion. I didn't like the way that went. I mean, audience capturing. Well, you gotta have an audience, Kyle. What you gonna do? Speaking to the void. That's what I said about old girl Ty Peasant. Um, like people call her a clout chaser as well and stuff like that. But my thing is like, she 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 has an audience, a big audience. I mean, what, you'll be happy if she had 0 followers? Like, I don't know. I think ego's involved in it. Well, obviously ego's involved in this, but I think a little jealousy too.
Now, remember, his posture for a very long time is like, look, I'm a lefty and I'm to the left of the Democrats, and I'm going to criticize the Democrats from their left. For a long time, that was his shtick. And I remember.
What's wrong with that? Wait. What's wrong with that? That's what I do to a certain extent. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, Kyle. What's wrong with criticizing the Democrats? Oh, but you the one that said that, you got to talk about Republicans too as well. The Republicans don't do motherfucking shit for you, but Democrats make empty promises. Oh, okay. That's why. Okay.
Remember, he released a video where he was criticizing the Biden administration because at that time there were some really bad videos coming out of the southern border where like the Border Patrol were beating the shit out of, people trying to cross the border or whatever it was, or it had something to do with somebody on a horse or whatever. The details are kind of irrelevant, but he did a video basically saying like, look at this, look at how extreme this is. The Democrats are exactly like Trump. This is not the way to go about the border. And then when you look at his comment section, he got way more dislikes than he normally would on the video. When you read his comment section, since he had been bashing the Democrats so much for so long, his comment section was just full of right-wingers who in this instance were like, no, fuck those immigrants. The Border Patrol is right, and you're wrong, Jimmy. And then from then, he didn't mention the border for a very long time because he knew it pissed off his audience. And then the next time he did end up bringing up the border, all of a sudden now, he's a border hawk, right? And he wants to crack down on the border. And it's not the left-wing criticism that in the past he would have made. And so I think that's a perfect example.
Maybe I'm wrong. I never seen Jimmy be a border hawk. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. When you have videos that blow up, Kyle, you should know this. You get ratioed. Those are just ignorant people that ratio Jimmy videos. I don't think Jimmy is a border hawk. Like, come on, man. You reaching here, man. I didn't see it, but if you did, y'all let me know in the comments below. I did see Jimmy become a border hawk. I remember that video. Jimmy was right to criticize Biden. Biden is just like Trump on the border. I mean, well, okay.
Of audience capture, where now you realize, okay, I've crafted this audience for myself and I need to feed them what they want to hear, right? So that's another example of why they end up taking this path. The other thing is, look, with a lot of these people, they have taken anti-establishment politics. They've taken that kind of thinking to the extreme of now believing that anything that's the opposite of the establishment is correct by default, right? So one good example of this is, like, every lefty you'd meet is going to be anti-big pharma because of the profit margins, because of the price gouging, because, the government invests up front in the research and development to create these drugs, then the drug companies swoop in, buy up the...
I'm going to skip this part right here.
Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are literal demons, and one of them smells like sulfur, and look, a fly landed on Barack Obama, therefore he's fucking Baphomet or whatever. The shit he says. Down to build something fresh and new. And then if that is your perspective in politics, to the dumbest possible conclusion, because your default perspective is the establishment must be wrong in all circumstances. And then beyond that, with some of these characters, not with all of them, with some of them, I think there's an element of acceleration. With some of these characters, not with all of them, with some of them, I think there's an element of accelerationism, right? The idea that, hey, in order to get left-wing victories, you have to burn it all down to build something fresh and new. And then...
Yep. He talking about us, the ones that want a revolution. That's what. Yeah, he talking about us, me, and some others on the left. That yeah, we should burn it all down, Kyle. Because Kyle, we tried going the way that you, the way you want. Like we ain't listen to you, but y'all want incrementalism. We want radical change. We tried that incrementalism route, but the problem is that time and time again, you got Bernie Sanders that left his movement. You got the Squad couldn't even force the vote for Medicare for all. So what's the the option, Kyle? Yes, burn it all down. Yeah, I'm an accelerationist. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I want a revolution to happen. We need to burn the whole system down and rebuild. Like, we'll never get Medicare for all with this current system of politics, man. It's too much money in politics. It's the money. The only way to change that, though, you got to get the money out. But how you gonna get the money out? Citizens United, in the 70s when they said that money is speech, that was the final nail in the coffin. So yeah, I knew you're an incrementalist. You see, Kyle, that's why I played that Martin Luther King clip about white moderates. Yeah, you the white moderates, Kyle said, "Oh, no, we don't need no revolution. We just 2000. We get Kamala in there. She got Tim Walz. We run Tim Walz in there. Tim Walz, he's more of a populist guy with Kamala Harris. Get him in there, and then the next 4 years we'll find somebody that's to the left of Kamala and put. No, we tried that game, Kyle. I mean, that was Cenk Uygur say it originally, but we tried that game, Kyle. It don't work. So yeah, buddy. He taking a shot at the burn it down crowd. Wow, gives a cloud on the Kyle Kulinski show, y'all.
If that is your perspective, you could see how somebody who's nominally on the left would take the position, well, Trump will lead to the system burning all down faster, and we can have a revolution after that and fix everything. Therefore,
dude, what? What? Who said that on the left? I heard nobody say that we get Trump in there and then we get no. The revolution part, even with Trump in there, Biden in there, Kamala in there, it don't matter. Eventually the system will. Capitalism is made out of fucking straw. Once you blow a straw real hard, it goes down. People are on the brink. And also too, I realized that a lot of people online ain't serious enough. Not for me, but just serious in general. It's gonna take the people that's not on Twitter or not on what other platform you can insert to realize that we need another way to solve this. Because people are at their breaking point, Kyle. That's why a lot of people become communists and Marxists, and that's why they migrate on from the duopoly, the Democratic Party, to what they are now. Oh man, this guy literally said that we hope we get Trump in there so that we could just burn the system down. Oh man, is that not some hilarious shit? I don't know what is. I really don't.
Or we're going to go in that direction. But again, I think that's just accelerationism. I think is just an idiotic position. I think there's zero evidence for it whatsoever. When Republicans get in there and they make things worse, usually what happens is that drags the Democrats further to the right on the spectrum, and things keep getting worse and worse and worse. It's never the case that, it got so bad that everything collapsed and now we can create a socialist utopia out of that. That doesn't fucking happen.
That's who you think we want. We want a Trump presidency so we can burn shit down and rebuild a new Oh man, these white moderates, man, they are so out of touch. They live in their own echo chambers, Oh man.
All the evidence you need is during the George W. Bush administration, right? Started 2 illegal wars, did tax cuts for the rich, drag the spectrum to the right. And it wasn't so bad that everything collapsed and then the Democrats came in and ushered in a utopia. No, it just dragged the Democrats further to the right. And you see the same thing under the Trump administration. It's just not a correct theory to say, let's go for the worst case.
Maybe, Kyle, both Democrats and Republicans are the same. Somebody said Democrats are wolf in sheep clothing. Like, yeah, that's the saying I would use. They're wolf in sheep clothing, which means they look at one way, but really they actually agree with the Republicans. Like, I believe all this Project 2025 shit, I wouldn't be surprised if some Democrats had some part in this. I really wouldn't be surprised. They're both the same. Oh, because so you saying we should get Trump in now, and then we can have a revolution? It don't work like that, Kyle. A revolution won't happen right now. It's going to take time. That's why I'm here. That's why the other members of my network are doing what they doing. That's why RBN is this. That's why, because we realize that you have to build movements. You got to grow. Like, oh, he doesn't understand.
Candidate, so everything implodes, then we'll magically build something new and fresh and it'll work even better. That never fucking happens. That never happens. And then finally, and this is probably the biggest factor, I saved it for the end. Why do these people do what they do? Why do they end up taking the positions they end up taking? Why did they effectively go from a Bernie Sanders supporter to a Donald Trump supporter? This answer is very straightforward. They hate liberals. They hate liberals. They hate Democrats. And that is, honestly, in many instances, the core of a lot of these people's politics.
Yes, I hate liberals. I hate Democrats. But I'm not a Trump supporter, though. I don't like Trump either. I don't like Republicans either. They're not any better. But I hate liberals and Democrats more because they always make empty promises. And especially, I'm black, so I could fend for black folks to a certain extent. Like, they always come to the hoods or the black neighborhoods and promise us shit, and they never deliver, or they deliver to other races, other ethnicities, which is, it is what it is. I'm not trying to offend nobody. I'm just telling the motherfucking truth. Black folks never get shit from these motherfuckers, these fucking liberals. All we get is Megan Thee Stallion on stage shaking her ass, or fucking Plies telling black men to vote for Kamala. Like, that's what we get. We get the virtue signaling. We get the identity politics. We don't get no policy changes. We don't, then you got my mama, my auntie, them some liberals. I don't hate them in particular. I just hate their politics. They have Trump derangement syndrome. So, yeah. So either our older gen black folks have Trump derangement syndrome, or the middle-aged people, that, they're just stuck on a liberal Kool-Aid. So, yeah. That's why I always try to say black folks stop voting Democrat. Because don't vote Republican either. You got to say that too. Because, it's people that say, I'd rather vote for Trump at this point. Which is, don't make any motherfucking sense whatsoever. It don't. Oh, God. I feel that will continue.
They just have a seething hatred for liberals and Democrats. Now, look, here's the thing. And I'd be curious to know what Bernie thinks about this. Because Bernie Sanders...
Fuck Bernie.
He always was the kind of politician where he would take a lot of time shitting on the Republicans and their policies and saying how bad the policies are, right? And talking about the substantive issues. But there were many instances with Bernie Sanders' rallies and speeches and interviews where Bernie would levy reasonable and strong-worded criticism against fellow Democrats, right? He would go after fellow Democrats for basically agreeing too much with the Republicans, doing neoliberal policies instead of progressive policies. And I think what happened with a lot of these characters who went from Bernie to Trump is they hyper-focus on Bernie's criticism of Democrats. And then they end up doing the same thing, but that's like all of their commentary and all of their thought process is, look at how fucking terrible the Democrats are. And they don't do what Bernie does.
But Kyle, can people aren't cooked to Bernie like that, dude. I don't know what world you living on. Like, a lot of people that's not even into politics came to the conclusion that these motherfuckers ain't doing shit for us. They always come up with these empty promises but never deliver. Like, people that are not into politics says that shit on a daily basis, Kyle. Yeah, so, Bernie criticized Republicans. I mean, was he running against the Republicans at the time? Like, you're not making any sense here, my guy. You're not.
Where Bernie, pairs that together with clearly explaining the Republicans are even worse. They're even more extreme. Here's the fucked up things they do. But I do have some criticism for my side, for the Democratic side. These people just take the criticisms that Bernie made against Democrats, and that becomes their whole politics. That there's always criticism for liberals and Democrats. There's always a way of saying they're liars and they're nefarious and they're bad people. And they just memory hole all of the stuff said by Bernie and all the objectively correct stuff about how Republicans have fucking even more abysmal politics, right? And so I do think at the core of a lot of this, it has become, I just fucking hate liberals. That's my politics. I just fucking hate Democrats.
I hate liberals. I hate liberals, but it's not my politics. My politics is radicalizing people to get out of the two-party system. Like, I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can tell you how bad liberals are. They are worse. I criticize liberals more than I criticize Republicans. Because, again, I keep repeating myself. Liberals make empty promises. I'm gonna say it like this. Liberals stab me in the back. Of course I hate them. You stab me in the motherfucking back, man. I'm bleeding all out. The Republicans tell me to my face, fuck you, ugly bastard. I ain't doing shit for your ass. Fuck you. That's the Republicans. See what I'm saying? The liberals say, oh, yeah, man, I love you, man. They shake my hand, hug me, and then I turn around, happy and confident, and they stab me in the back. So you saying that it's bad strategy just to shit on liberals because you once upon a time believed in them? Kyle, is that what you're saying?
Democrats. They're hypocrites, they're bad people, they're nefarious, they said this, they did that, and it's like super scrutinizing everything any Democrat has ever done ever, but then they act totally credulous with Republicans, right? So in other words, if you get somebody like J.D. Vance...
Kyle, please. Kyle, I'm not acting credulous with Republicans. Republicans are shit too. Yeah. But what we saying is us. He talking about the way far left. What we're saying is that the Democrats are just like the Republicans, Kyle. They're not no different. The term wolf in sheep's clothing, I'm pretty sure you don't know these terms is. You just a talking head on YouTube now. You ain't no radicalizer. Like, come on. But I'm just saying, so you saying that I should see, this is what he get to. He said I should criticize the Democrats to a certain extent, but criticize the Republicans. Yeah. In my state, the Republican Party wants to make the Ten Commandments, put the Ten Commandments on every classroom wall. That's their ideology. Hopefully they don't come for fruition. I hope the Supreme Court should strike it down, separation church and state. But yes, my state, they Republicans. The governor of my state never promised to expand Medicaid or expand these social safety net programs in my state. Like, what I'm supposed to do? Just keep talking about it? Oh God, the Republicans in my state. Oh no. Republicans are just so bad. The Democrats ain't doing enough though. But those damn Republicans, God damn it, they just want to ruin my life. Okay, but they never. Again, Republicans never promised me a motherfucking thing, Kyle. Like you drinking the liberal Kool-Aid. Like I knew you went for being like a not a true progressive, but it seemed like you went beyond the fray to being a Democrat again. Well, yeah, a Democrat. So this is not surprising coming out of your mouth. It's not surprising.
who comes out and says, I want to extend the child tax credit and do it $5,000, make it even higher. This group of people is like, oh, look at that. The Republicans are out.
But Kyle, of course he's going to say that. Kyle, you know, both sides lie. Yeah, J.D. Vance said that. J.D. Vance know he ain't going to do shit. Yeah, he about to get it to J.D. Vance to even vote for the child tax credit. Of course he ain't going to vote for it. His donors don't want it, but he'll lie to his base, the little base he got. Because J.D. Vance is not a likable guy. Just tell you that. Horrible pick by Donald Trump. Listen to Beavis and Butthead to tell him to pick J.D. Vance. Like, oh my God. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into all that. Of course, a Republican said we anti-war, but votes on a weapons package to send to Israel. Like, okay, like they lied, Kyle, but you're not getting what we're saying. Like, yeah, Democrats voted on the extended child tax credit, but they just voted on it and just left it be. They don't want to fight, Kyle. That's the difference. Democrats don't want to fight. Just a bunch of they want to play. They want to play GI mind tricks on the masses. That's what we're saying.
Lefting the Democrats, they're becoming more populist. And what do they omit?
Anybody that's on the far left like me and RBN, we know that the Republicans are not populist. Like you cut the crap. See, that's what you think we think. You think because I don't talk about Republicans or other bigger media figures, bigger than mine, Little Spec network, don't talk about the Republicans. Again, like I criticize Republicans need be. I don't know why my camera's blurry. But anyway, I believe this deep state messing with me. Oh man. I'm just saying, you know, Kyle, man, I just don't know, boy.
We just had a vote in the Senate on expanding the child tax credit, and J.D. Vance missed it on purpose. He didn't vote for it. If he was so pro-child tax credit, he would have showed up and voted for it. Instead, 44 Republicans voted against it, and his ass didn't even show up. So how can you say he's...
Yes, 44 Republicans voted against it, Kyle. Yeah, again, Republicans never said they want the child tax credit, Kyle. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain this. Well, I know you ain't going. You won't know who am I relevant. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to say in a way that makes it easy to understand. Like, Republicans never promise shit, and of course, Republicans want to win, so of course they're gonna sound populist. Like we know this stuff, but you mad at us for not, because you said we hate liberals and Democrats, which I do. I hate them. You know, liberals actually made my life worse than a Republican, to be honest with you. Who wrote the crime bill and signed the crime bill into law? Bill Clinton and Joe Biden. Yeah, who made it impossible for you to bankrupt your student loans? A Democrat. Who's the guy that black wealth decreased under of? Not George Bush. Yeah, George Bush was an evil motherfucker, but Barack Obama just as evil. He didn't do shit for black folks. Actually, 10 million people lost their homes under Barack Obama. So I mean, so these are Democrats. These are not Republicans. Yeah, Republicans are evil too. We get that, but again, like, let me continue.
In favor of, increasing the child tax credit. That's nonsense. And then, by the way, Kamala also comes out within the same week and says, oh, he wants to do a $5,000 extended child tax credit. I want to do a $6,000 extended child tax credit. I'm one-upping you, bitch. And what are these people? Kamala doesn't mean it, and Kamala's wrong. Even though the Democrats did vote.
Kamala don't mean it. What are you talking about? Kamala just like J.D. Vance. Of course they're going to say anything to get votes, you dumbass fucker. I mean, okay, Kyle, like your kid acting up and you say, okay, you don't mean it, but you just try to calm them down. Okay, little Johnny, I got, if you act right, you eat your vegetables, I'll give you some ice cream. And then they eat their vegetables and they ask, what the ice cream at, Dad? And I say, I ain't got none. I don't know what you talking about. That's what the Democrats is, bro. Nah. Or Democrats' excuses is we ain't got the votes. We don't, it's always a rotating villain like Joe Lieberman's of Christian Cinemas, the other guy that's in West Virginia. Damn, Joe Manchin's. It's always those, it's always an excuse, or it's a Senate parliamentarian. Like, it's always an excuse, Kyle. Like in 2008, these motherfuckers had a supermajority and a majority, and the Supreme Court was on their side too. Yeah, and they still couldn't get shit done. But no, we got Romney Care, and you want me to criticize Republicans more than these motherfuckers? But actually, these motherfuckers make my life more harder than Republicans. So just cut the crap.
Vote for the extended child tax credit. The Democrats don't mean it. The Democrats are liars. The Democrats are wrong. Look, they're copying J.D. Vance. No, J.D. Vance is a liar. He's a liar. If he supported extending the child tax credit, he could have fucking voted for it, and he didn't. 44 Republicans voted against it, right? So even just minor rhetoric from Republicans that is slightly more populist, and it's, oh, here comes the realignment. The Republicans are the working class party. But the Democrats can actually, in many instances, vote for the right policies. And it's like, no, that doesn't count because they're lying and they watered down the policy and it's worse for reasons X, Y, and Z.
Did Joe Biden promise a $2,000 stimulus check, Kyle? And then they came out and said, we lowered it to $1,400 because, technically, I'm going to do my tape explanation, because technically we gave you $600 on a Trump, and, that's $2,000 total, which he promised $2,000. That's a good example. That's an example of watering down. Like, that's what Democrats do. Or means testing is watering down. Like, everybody can't get it, but you gotta make $500 a month, and you gotta have 18 kids, or you gotta take your blood test, you gotta take a urine test, you gotta, that's what the Democrats do. They mean test every motherfucking thing. And you won't be to talk about the Republicans nonstop like Farron Cousins, like Trump this and Marjorie Taylor Greene did this. I don't want to talk about that shit. Yeah, it'll generate clicks. That's what it's doing for your channel. But I don't want that. I don't want to be a clickbaiter, because a lot of people on the network will look at me like a crazy motherfucker. Like, this nigga just a clout chase. So yeah.
And it's totally fucking so much scrutiny of the Democrats under a fucking microscope, and totally credulous about Republicans, even when it's just fucking rhetoric, right? Like this idea, Trump goes, I'm anti-war, whatever. He has a couple things that he says where, sounds like that's an anti-war position, but then totally ignoring his record, right? Because he said the words, and I'm totally credulous when it comes to Republicans, so they're being more working class friendly. It's just...
Who's saying this shit, man? I don't want to know. You need to pull up some tapes.
That's ultimately what ends up happening. So I don't want to say this isn't a real phenomenon, because it is. It's just overstated because it's high-profile media figures, right? Or it's either high-profile media figures, it's activists, it's politician types. These are the ones who did that Bernie to Trump journey, right? But among the population, it's way less common. In fact, what's more common is centrist to right-wing pipeline. But it's a real phenomenon, and there are, you can actually break it down and figure out how these people got where they ended up getting, right? And it's a sad thing, because look, I could tell you, as a 2016 Bernie supporter and a 2020 Bernie supporter, I would rather put my nuts in a waffle iron than even consider voting for Donald Trump. You could put a gun to my head, and I would never vote for Donald Trump. And
Okay, that's it to that, man. I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Yeah, that was rough. The Bernie to Trump pipeline thing. I think it's a load of horse crap. Because according to Kyle, this is his speculation that, we obviously know RFK Jr. And Tulsi Gabbard opportunists. Like, obviously they are real politicians. Like they trying to find a lane for themselves. Who knows? Maybe in a few years they'll go back to supporting the Democrat. Who knows? Like they. But in terms of turns to media personalities, the ones he brought up, I have no evidence of them going for Bernie to Donald Trump. Like, unless they officially talk about it, then it's a different story. But you can't assume that obviously JD is a Trump supporter because because he only criticizes the Democrats and never says nothing bad about Republicans. Jimmy Dore on a lot of instances said stuff about the Republicans. So I don't know what Kyle is talking about. Let me say this. That's why I'm glad that more and more people are doing this, what I'm doing right now, independent media. Back then all we had was secular talk and not Sam Cedar, Sam Cedars and the TYTs, and that's really what all we had in terms of the closest to left independent media. And I think over time these guys probably had a radicalized mindset. Except for TYT, kind of questionable, but especially like Kyle, I think he was the most tolerable of them all back then. And then over time, you grow your audience. This segment of social media it's a lottery, man. A lot of people have channels they never grow, or YouTube suppresses them. It's hard out there. But these guys, they fortunately got an audience, and I think the money side of things got into their head. Like, Kyle is a millionaire. Like, for some of you don't know, he's a millionaire. So, like Kyle doesn't care if Biden or Trump goes in there. It's just get him more shit to talk about. You see what I'm saying? Kyle can talk about Trump all day and get 400,000 views per video. Because Crystal Ball, she's a millionaire. Like, they are rich. They don't have to struggle like my friend Todd Peasant. They don't have to work a 9 to 5 and have to pay all their bills and then have nothing left to feed yourself or your kids. And they don't have to they don't have to worry about rent. Rent taking half their income, because of the evil, these evil corporate real estate developers taking over everything. BlackRock, Vanguard, they ain't got to worry about, medical bills. They always they talked about medical debt. Kyle talks about that still to a point, but like, they go to the doctor. I'm pretty sure they got gold-plated health insurance. I'm pretty sure they fine. They go to the doctor, get checked up, they fine. They don't have to worry about the things that us, the working class left, have to go through. So it's easy for Kyle to get behind a fucking microphone and say that, a revolution ain't gonna happen. Change, radical acceleration is shit, and you hate the liberals, and you talk about the Republicans in a good way. Like, it's easy for you to say that shit, and it's easy for you to talk about Trump for clicks. Like, if you talk about Trump every day on your platform, I'm not saying don't talk about Trump. I'm just saying, like, talking about him every day just shows me that you doing everything that you claiming Jimmy Dore is doing. Like, you're not no better, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, the white moderate people on the left, they holding us back because they have the audience. Like, if Kyle say, you know what, I was wrong, I'm gonna start inviting Sabby Sabs onto my platform. He ain't gotta invite my ass. Or he can invite Ty Peasant on the platform, or he can invite Rome, JB, Sabby, Nick. You start inviting those people on to talk about, instead of talking about what fucking Kamala Harris empty promises about the child tax credit. Then I can start taking him seriously. But he gotta be consistent though. You know what I'm saying? But Kyle thing is, it's just like Jenks. They don't believe in third parties. Even though he said he endorsed Jill Stein, which is just, it's an empty endorsement in my opinion. The only reason why, like, he's solid on the Gaza issue. I think the Hamas thing, he sold into that. Like, Hamas just, like, Kyle he understands it, the Gaza situation. I think the problem is that he don't understand, like, when it comes to Hamas, like, he just don't get the concept of when a illegal occupation of their own country, just taking over their country. Like, you ain't gonna, what you gonna do? Just sit there with your hands twirling your hands? Like, you ain't gonna form a militia? You ain't gonna defend yourself? Like the Black Panthers? That's why the Black Panthers was popular at the time. Like, man, it's a lot. Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, when you in this space and you're rich, which is a very few people, you just don't understand. Like, see, if he had Ty Peasant on, Ty Peasant could explain why she do what she do, then would he sympathize with it? I don't know, but you need to have people that are on the working class that won't change. Like Kyle, I never see you at protests. I never see you organizing. Like, you and Crystal Ball, y'all could form mutual aid chapters in wherever y'all live, DC or whatever. Like, y'all can do stuff like that. Jank too in California, Jank and Anna. Like, y'all can organize. Y'all got the resources. Y'all can promote mutual aid. Y'all can do stuff like that. Cause the two-party system ain't working, man. It's not working. It's not working for us, man. That's why we are accelerationists. Yes, but the acceleration you're talking about is Trump will make things worse. Things are already worse under Biden. So Trump will get in there. He's gonna do the same shit Joe Biden doing. Continue the war in Gaza. Continue the economy. Continue to benefit the wealthy elite. While poor working class people struggle to go to the grocery store. And also too, I'm gonna say this too. Like, my thing is, that's why shout out to Joey Reck for saying this. He said this in a group chat a long time ago. It wasn't that long ago, but he said, "Do not put your trust in podcasters." I never really put my trust in a Cal Kulinski or Cenk Uygur, but over time, when somebody says rhetoric that you can get along and agree with, you tend to take they narratives as to a high standard. But you can't do that. You can't take my rhetoric to a high standard. Like, one day, I won't be like Cal Kulinski. I'm always gonna say let's form a revolution, But you can't put your trust in podcasters, man. They'll let you down every time. And also too, when the revolution do happen, Kyle ain't gonna talk about it. These big leftist channels ain't gonna talk about it. Like Force to Vote. I remember that. Kyle and Crystal supported it. This before Kyle and Jimmy, stopped fucking with each other then. Jank didn't. The other ones didn't. And Kyle, because we talk about Democrats all the time. This is my last point, because I've been on this for an hour and 16 minutes. Holy shit. And Kyle, last point. Because we don't talk about Republicans as much as we talk about Democrats, doesn't mean we know Republicans are bad. They are bad too, Kyle. We know Republicans deregulate. We know all the shit you keep saying. We know that. We know. But what are the Democrats doing? Yeah, Kyle. You gotta remember 2008, man, 2009. Like, that should have showed everybody on the left that Democrats don't want to fight. You have, that's like you going up to the basket, playing basketball, and make a layup. But the basket right there, all you gotta do is just roll it off your fingers into the basket, and you just missed it. They don't want to fight. because both Democrats and Republicans have the same donors. Like, I just don't understand, man. Just don't put your trust in podcasters, man, especially ones that are rich. Okay, guys, I think this is an interesting topic to talk about. It says, this is from telecoms.com. It says, X/Twitter banned in Brazil, including access via VPN and mobile apps. It says a Brazilian judge has banned U.S. social media platform X from operating or being accessed in the country. It says a statement by the Brazilian Federal Supreme Court late last Friday ordered the immediate and complete suspension of the operation of X, formerly Twitter, throughout the national territory until the court's judicial decisions are compiled with and the fines are applied and paid. The order will also be valid until a representative of the company in the country is appointed. Also, basically, they want somebody to be a moderator on Twitter. Okay, I see where this is going. In anticipation of the move, X's Global Development Affairs account tweeted the following: soon we expect Judge Alexandre de Moraes will order X to be shut down in Brazil simply because we cannot comply with his illegal orders to censor his political opponents. I knew censorship was a factor. These enemies include a duly elected senator and a 16-year-old girl, among others. When we attempted to defend ourselves in court, Judge de Moraes threatened our Brazilian legal representative with imprisonment. Even after she resigned, he froze all of her bank accounts. Our challenges against his manifestly illegal actions were either dismissed or ignored. Judge de Moraes' colleagues on the Supreme Court are either unwilling or unable to stand up with him. We are absolutely not insisting that other countries have the same free speech laws as the United States. The fundamental issue at stake here is that the Judge de Moraes demands we break Brazil's own laws. We simply won't do that. In the days to come, we will publish all of Judge de Moraes' illegal demands and all of related court filings in interest of transparency. The publication commenced the next day under the X handle Alexandre Files in a decision issued on August 18th. Alexandre de Moraes elaborated on the reasons for some of his illegal orders. In summary, he explains that anyone who seeks to expose him or his accomplices in any way must be silenced in the domain of democracy, he claims. So, yeah, that's why they decided to ban X, because, United States supposed to have quote unquote free speech, right? As we know that even though Twitter is censoring accounts, that either on the left or pro-Palestine. So but in Brazil they want them to just basically they want Twitter to censor political opponents, which is not surprising. Other countries ain't got the quote unquote free speech like we got. There's no free speech in America. My guy, he's part of the ATP network. Martin Bimberg, his account got banned on Twitter because he said something about Tom Cotton that was very vague. That's crazy how they could listen to a politician. A politician could tell Elon's Twitter to censor anybody who criticizes me. But long as I thought, libel, slander, or threats of violence or anything like that, I thought we could, I wouldn't be surprised if Twitter suspends me over this, because, even though it's freedom of speech, I'm expressing that I don't like Israel by doing this. I'm not saying, other stuff I can't say on YouTube, but yeah, just political opponents. I'm finna read some more, then I'm gonna call it quits. While he is a member of the Supreme Court, the Moraes seem to be acting unilaterally and has been widely accused of specifically seeking the censorship of his own political opponents and critics. The ruling compels the Brazilian telecoms regulator Anatel to take all necessary measures to ensure the suspension, what the regulator has indicated it would comply with. It also complies with U.S. companies Apple and Google to remove the X app from their stores and block the use of the app on devices running on their operating system. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna stop right there. Yeah, censorship. Oh man, Twitter as a whole is just a shit show as itself. Like the constant bots, the um, like advertisers pulling ads from Twitter, because it's not enough censorship in the United States. Like that's crazy. Advertisers, there's a saying that say "Ye has the goal makes all the rules." That's true. That's why YouTube has got kindergarten rules now, especially after ad apocalypse when advertisers lost their shit because of some Nazi or something like that. So, yeah, I think because a Nazi was on there or something, and I think they were running ads on YouTube had the corporation's ads on the Nazis channel. Yeah, ain't no censorship. Yeah, so censor my political opponent or the whole entire X platform in Brazil we banned. Yeah, I hate censorship. I don't like a lot of people's rhetoric. People say stuff I don't like, but I don't want them censored off Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, because everybody has a right to talk. Like, my word ain't shit. Everybody has free play. Supposed to be a democracy, as they all say, but apparently it's not. There's no democracy nowhere. Not in the United States, wise. So yeah, y'all. That wraps it up for Andre the Man Show. I've enjoyed myself. These episodes are my therapy because it's just so much shit going on in my personal life and work life. So yeah. Shameless plugs again. Also, y'all too. Damn, I keep forgetting about this. Like the video on YouTube and Rumble or Twitch. Like the video, it'll push it out in the algorithm. And also too, y'all. Let me see. Our comrade Trina. She's going through. She's trying to escape her domestic violence situation, so she needs some funds. So in the description, in the live video, click on it, read her story. And if you ain't got no money to give, that's fine. Share it to your social medias, man. Just have some fucking common courtesy in this world, man. We lack that. Like, a lot of people just don't care. Everybody think you're a scam artist. You ask for money online. Like, but you give money to a politician. The same politician that get money from Wall Street. Okay. Well, and also to follow the ATP Network on Twitter, at ATP Network 247. So yeah, y'all. Again, thank you for watching Andre the Man Show. I enjoyed myself. I know these are pre-recorded, but I just like these like that. That's crazy. I can still record and still be live because live videos are more. YouTube wants you to do more live videos. I think to compete with Twitch. So thank you guys again for watching Andre the Man Show. I'm Andre signing out. Have a good one. And thank you